Hi, I'm Tebeckia Langford. I'm a realtor here at Keller Williams Madison. I was a resident at the Huntsville Housing Authority. In about 2017, I was moving from Atlanta, Georgia, back to Huntsville, and I was staying with families and friends, but I really didn't have a set location. And so I decided to go to the women's shelter, and I stayed there for about 5 or 6 months with my 2 boys. After entering the women's shelter, I was also a cosmetology student, and so I had a lot of girlfriends, and we would just go, what the kids be saying, dilly-dally. But we was going to lunch together, and one of my girlfriends brought me over to her home for a quick little snack. And in the midst of that, I go in, and her apartment was over in Northwood, and her apartment was really nice. I was like, I couldn't believe that it was a project. And so after seeing her apartment, it really opened up my mind to being open to the projects and just getting started and getting on my feet, just having something to call my own. And shortly after that, she gave me a ride down to the Housing Authority, and I put my application in. About 2 weeks later, I was approved for my apartment that I would live in for about 4 years over at Searcy Homes. Being at Searcy Homes changed my life. It changed my life. It changed my kids' life. It was the first time that my boys had their own room. It was the first time that I had a place to call my own. I didn't even have furniture. There was a place called Christmas Charities. I ended up later on getting furniture, but I moved in with an air mattress, a shower curtain, and some tissue. But we had our own place. I stayed there for about 4 years, but about 2 years in, I began to find resources and get settled in the city of Huntsville. My 3rd year, I ended up meeting my husband over at Searcy Homes, and we have been married about 5 years now. At my 4th year, I got a piece of mail from the Section 8. It was my voucher. I had got my Section 8 voucher. And so I took that voucher and I got a nice little house. It was my first time having a yard and a trampoline. All the things that I dreamed of came to fruition by me humbling and being able to go into Searcy Homes and being able to build my resources up. So in about 2019 is when I got my Section 8 voucher. I moved over off of Keenan and stayed there for about 2 years. And so shortly after being in my home over at Keenan, I found out about the WIOA program, workforce program, where they will pay for you to go get training. And so I found out that they had an online training at UAB to do my social media and digital marketing certificate. And I received that, but going through those classes really opened up my mind of what I could do with myself and with the things that I'm passionate about. And so, yes, I ended up pursuing a degree at the University of Alabama in that same field just because I fell in love with that class at UAB. And on my 2nd semester at Alabama, my husband ended up getting into real estate. He ended up being a real estate investor. And so by then, in 2020, we were married, and I was pregnant with our daughter. And I would hear him in the front room over at Keenan, still on Section 8, talking to people and struggling. He was struggling. And I ended up getting on the phone, didn't know a thing about real estate, but loved people, always have loved people, and end up finding a passion for real estate. And so now I am full blown in real estate. I did not finish over at Alabama because I fell in love with real estate, and I get to do it all. So from marketing to people to social media, all the different things, it all came into this one hub on top of doing a business with my husband that we both love genuinely. And so I am forever grateful for the Housing Authority and the seeds that it has sown into my life to make me who I am today. And because of the seeds the Housing Authority has planted into me, I have planted my own seeds back into the community. I started with a nonprofit called Purpose in Pink that later transformed into Black Girl Advocate, where we love on the girls in the community. And we are mentors, we offer mentorship, we offer college tours, we offer resources, hygiene products, whatever the girls need. We just try to be a listening ear and a heart for that community. And I invite you too as well to give back, go explore, and learn more about what Huntsville Housing has to offer in this community.